Shane Beamer decides to be a little goofy. So, can we go ahead and pull up that Facebook video in which I think this illustrates a lot of what's wrong with college football right now? And we can address it on a couple of different issues. But let's play this video here. It's What the H, and it's brought to you.
Please put your hands together.
Sorry.
That's brought to you by Rick Terry Jewelry Design. Go ahead.
And yeah, we'll go to right there when the players are coming in. Watch this.
Defensive back to Xavier. Welcome, defensive back to Xavier Curry.
So there's Shane, acting like a goofball, acting all excited. Couple things that really bother me about this. I started getting bothered when I started covering recruiting before they started doing the helmet thing, where they'd have helmets in front of them and pick one. And I started getting bothered when that would happen. This is a whole new level of bothering me. You are setting this young man up for failure. You're turning him into a star before he's taken part in his first practice. Is this something you would want Josh Heupel to do? I mean, and I ask, I know we've got some fans of other schools on the show. Is this something you would want your coach to do? Is this what's hip and cool nowadays? Is this what swag you have to compete with the Joneses in terms of recruiting? To me, it seems odd and seems like the wrong direction to go. What the H? I guess we're going to finish out this What the H before we get to this What the H.
What the H?
Wow, I never worked hard on anything. What a cool life.
For real? The Dave Hooker Show with Caleb Calhoun. Represented by T. Scott Jones. ThanksandJones.com. Tennessee's trial attorney. From the Ted Russell Ford Lincoln Studio, East Tennessee's #1 volume and customer service dealer. Ted Russell Ford and TedRussellLincoln.net. Now to the Dave Hooker Show on Off the Hook Sports.
All right, Ashley with a great comment. No, I don't want to see Josh doing that with other players. It's exactly right. Have a little bit of, I don't know, class. I don't know. When I was growing up, and even your age, who were the coaches that were around? Classy guys like Joe Paterno. No, I'm kidding. Classy guys like, when I was your age, I mean, Nick Saban was around. Was Bobby Bowden still around? I mean, even Gene Stallings was at least a classy guy at Texas.
Well, Gene Stallings is maybe the most high character person to ever win a national championship. I mean, he's a really, really, I don't know if I can stress how good of a person he is.
I'm sure he appreciates that. Texas had Mac Brown. Maybe not the best coach in the world, but some class.
The Philip Fulmer of Texas.
Yeah. And Nebraska had Tom Osborne.
Fake class, Joe Paterno class.
Maybe, but who are the classy coaches of college football now? I mean, who's out there? Who are the guys you look to and you say, wow, Philip Fulmer used to always say, I want to be like Tom Osborne. He wanted to be in the way he ran his program. I mean, who do you look at now and say, I want to be like that guy? It feels like that coaching's just gotten incredibly young.
But it's also much more brutal than it was in the 90s and much more cutthroat as an industry, particularly on the recruiting trail. And Shane Beamer's at a school that he has to work a little bit harder. I think it's goofy because you're right. I don't think you should ever do this for a recruit. No one can ever predict when a recruit is going to be good or bad. You
lost so much leverage, especially now with you don't have to sit for transfer in a year. You've just told that guy he's going to be a superstar. And if he's not by October, he's going to be disgruntled.
Oh, I totally agree. And this is a huge problem. And you're right. Like Josh Heupel tweets out "Go Big Orange" every time Tennessee lands a commitment. That's as far as he goes. He tweets out "Go Big Orange." And that, like mine, when I see his Twitter say GBO, I'm like, oh, Tennessee must have gotten a commitment. I look it up. That's what he does. That's normal. That is a perfectly normal thing to do. You're right. There's not a guy running a program that you say, I want it to be like that guy. They all have to be a little bit boisterous. Here's the irony of it, Dave. I mean, obviously, as we know, in the 90s, the boisterous coach was Steve Spurrier. Turns out he was probably the classiest of all of them at his heart, though. And because he was the most honest and he didn't do anything sleazy. Like Spurrier would never do something like this. He never found a recruit that valuable, honestly. And
Ben
Nick
came up
Saban,
with the only one that I can think of, Kirby Smart, probably, and he's still remarkably young.
Kirby Smart is close, but I think that the issues at Georgia are making him look less classy. Maybe not his fault, but the culture problem is not a good look for him.
Oh, in terms of the car thing?
Yeah, it's really not.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom Osborne had a running back that beat the Jesus out of
I
him.
don't think Tom Osborne was that classy.
Okay,
I think it was like Joe Paterno.
Yeah, I could go on and on and on about guys.
Homeboy was giving his players roids. How's that classy?
Well, I doubt seriously that was administrative level. It doesn't have to be. But I do think that every coach has their knocks and probably does things off away from it that they shouldn't do. But I don't know that I would put Kirby Smart in that arena as far as being one of the classy coaches. Had this been 20 years ago and he was at his prime, I thought he was it. So a lot of people are disagreeing with me online. Now, what about Dabo Swinney?
Dabo himself is a little bit goofy though. It's worked. I'm not going to say it hasn't worked. I mean, we're talking about a guy that he immediately tried to he declared open war on Tennessee back in the day when he was like, we've taken Tennessee's title as wide receiver U. Now I don't blame him. It was kind of smart, honestly, if you look about how he was trying to recruit. But at the same time, it's not like he wasn't goofy in certain ways. So.
And I guess when we talk about the deans of college football, I'm not just discussing years. I'm discussing that they have to be a little bit older. They have to have had some success. They have to be at their programs for a handful of years. I guess it's Kirby Smart and Dabo Swinney, and that's the end of the conversation.
Yes, I agree. And also the two most successful head coaches we're talking about. I mean, is Ryan Day not classy? How about Ryan Day? He's a championship coach. Is he not classy? I don't think he's that great of a coach, but I think he's classy.
Yeah, I guess you could start to include him in there. Unsung, by the way. This is random. I'll tell you who's a classy coach. Biff Poggi up in the Maryland area. It's absolutely right. Remember a little Biff Poggi? You remember Biff Poggi?
I do not remember Biff Poggi whatsoever.
He was the head coach at Gilman High School. Do you want me to tell a funny story? Have you ever seen a lacrosse team go to practice with before they have their sticks?
No, I have not.
Well, it looks like they're wearing shells, like you wear in football, not the full pads. And I remember one time jogging behind this lacrosse team, and I called the coach and I said, "Where are you? I'm here to interview the prospects." And he goes, "I'm with the team. Where are you?" And he goes, "I'm with the team." And he goes, "Are you sure you're not with the lacrosse team?" That was embarrassing.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's actually really funny.
And then right about that time, they're going to pick up their sticks, and it's pretty obvious. And my son played lacrosse as well. So do we have anybody? Marcus Freeman? Marcus Freeman's not an ambassador, a dean of the sport. You can't see that.
I mean, getting Notre Dame back to a title game was pretty impressive, but if he wins a title, he would be. I mean, you win a title at Notre Dame, you are a dean of the sport at that point.
Okay.
But we'll have to see if he can actually do that. I still don't think he can do that, honestly. And I mean, it's the same with, we're talking Marcus Freeman. Who else? I had a couple of others that came to mind that could, if Kalen DeBoer wins a title at Alabama, I think Kalen DeBoer is a very classy coach. I'm higher and higher on Kalen DeBoer by the day as a person and as a head coach. I mean, to the point where I think I would be very, very scared of Alabama.